Hey everybody, this is Delegate Luedtke with my weekly update. I figured since it was Black History Month, I'd highlight some of the Black history we have here in the State House complex. Behind me is a plaque that sits on the wall inside the State House lobby to Matthew Henson, who you may have heard of before, but if you haven't, Matthew Henson was one of the first people and perhaps the first person to reach the geographic North Pole. So he was an explorer in sort of the latter part of the age of exploration, and he was born right here in Maryland, in Manjamoy, Maryland. So great piece of history to have here in the State House. We are getting super busy down here in Annapolis. We've reached the part of session where it seems like there are 10 different things going on at once. Remember that we have only 90 days to get our work done in, and in that time we consider thousands of bills, and we're in the process of starting to do that. So let me mention a few of those. I had bill hearings on 4 of my own bills this week. One bill over in the Appropriations Committee, which was aimed at expanding access to college education by reducing some unnecessary barriers in the Maryland DREAM Act, which prevent kids who grow up in Maryland, go to Maryland high schools, pay their taxes in Maryland, but who might be undocumented from getting in-state tuition at our universities. So that's number one. Number two, also in education, I had a bill which tries to make the special education process a little more fair for parents, balance things out between parents and school systems by giving administrative law judges the right to award attorneys and experts fees to parents who are successful in legal cases related to special ed. Number three, I had a bill aimed at supporting workers and small business owners. And in Maryland, we have a problem like exists in many states where you'll have a small business owner that wants to retire, but they can't find anyone to buy their business. And if their only alternative is to shut down the business, that's not good for workers, it's not good for the economy. So we're trying to make it a little easier in our tax code for business owners to sell their businesses to what are called employee stock ownership plans. So basically the employees themselves would be able to take over those businesses, keep those jobs right here in the state of Maryland. And finally, I had a bill hearing aimed at expanding access to early voting in the state by creating a more rational system for determining how many early voting centers each of our counties gets. Now, those were my bills. None of them have been acted on yet. That'll happen down the road if they receive any action. We are acting on other bills, though. So, for example, my committee today moved out a bill, that is, we supported a bill which we're sending to the full House of Delegates for consideration, which will add 2 teachers and a parent to the State Board of Education, because, you know, why would we want to have conversations about education and not involve teachers and parents? It sounds a little crazy that they're not on there right now. And actually, under current law, a private school teacher is allowed to serve on the State Board of Education, but a public school teacher is not. So we're trying to fix that under this bill. 2 teachers would be elected by all the teachers in the state to serve on the state board, and 1 parent would be selected by the governor from a list prepared by the State Parent-Teacher Association. Last year, Governor Hogan vetoed a similar bill because he was concerned that the teachers, which under the old version of the bill were appointed, might simply be mouthpieces for the teachers union. I didn't have that concern. Governor did, but we changed the bill anyway to make sure that this is an election, that it's a very democratic process, and we're hoping that the governor agrees to support democracy. Finally, this week we had 2 hearings on bills which are in the Democratic leadership package. One, the Foam-Free Maryland bill, to make sure we're not selling polystyrene foam in the state of Maryland, and that often turns into litter, gets dumped in the Chesapeake Bay. That hearing was Wednesday. And today, actually, while I'm recording this video, the hearing is going on in the Fight for 15 bill. That's a bill which would increase Maryland's minimum wage to $15 an hour. The single best thing we can do to lift Maryland working families out of poverty, to give them a real shot at the middle class. So that's going to be a very long hearing. There are a lot of people signed up to testify, but I'm hopeful that bill will get a favorable report in the next few weeks. In the meantime, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave a comment here below this video or reach out to me anytime by email, by phone, or you can come visit my Annapolis office, room 350 in the House office building. And have a great weekend.